Okay, so let's talk about the Chinese zodiac. Most of us, we think we get it. We know our animal sign. But I can promise you, there's a whole secret world hiding right under the surface of those animals. And today, we're going to crack that code. Whether you're a tiger or a rabbit or a snake, most of us know our zodiac animal, right? It's a fun piece of culture. But what if I told you those animals are just the beginning? They're really just the cover of a much, much older and way more complex story. So let me ask you, maybe you're super proud to be born in the year of the dragon. I mean, who wouldn't be? But have you ever stopped to think about what that really means? Like, what is that label actually pointing to? What's the system behind it all? Well, that's exactly the mystery we're getting into today. All right, so here's the big secret. The 12 animals that we all know and love, they're actually just placeholders. They're symbols for a system that is way more important, way more fundamental to Chinese cosmology. We're talking about an ancient code that was literally used to make sense of the entire universe. And here it is, laid out for you. Down at the bottom, you see the animals we all recognize. That's the Shengxiao. But look at that top row of characters. That is the real system. Those are the 12 earthly branches, the DG. See, the animals were just a user-friendly interface, a memorable way to represent this much older, much more complex cosmic system. So, what exactly are the earthly branches? Well, think of them as the secret code behind the entire zodiac. This wasn't just about animals. It was a seriously sophisticated system for keeping track of, well, everything. Time, direction, the order of the cosmos. And the animals? They were just a brilliant way to help everybody remember this powerful cosmic code. Kind of like a mnemonic device, Which, of course, brings up a pretty big question, right? Why these animals? And why in this specific order? Starting with the rat and ending with the pig? Well, the answer is pretty amazing. It has everything to do with how ancient people observe the world, both on the ground and in the sky. Okay, so there are two main theories about where this all came from, and they're both pretty cool. The first one is all about animal activity. Basically, each animal gets paired with the 2-hour chunk of the day when it's most active. Super practical. The second theory, though, is much more cosmic. It links each animal and its branch to one of the ancient constellations. It's this beautiful idea of heaven and earth being in perfect sync. And you can see that astronomical connection right here. Look at this. You have the branch Z, which is paired with the rat, which in turn is linked to a specific constellation. So you can see this clear line being drawn from the stars down to the zodiac and right into daily life. This was way more than just folklore. It was a complex map of the cosmos. And believe it or not, it had huge implications for how people related to each other. So, we've got this incredible system for organizing time and space, but where it really gets interesting and what's had the most lasting impact is how it was used to understand people and their relationships. This is where the zodiac becomes deeply personal. You see, this wasn't just about telling time. It evolved into a full-blown guide for social harmony and even for fortune-telling. Based on how these earthly branches related to each other, a whole code of compatibility emerged. It was a set of rules that could tell you which signs were a perfect match and which ones were, well, doomed to clash. And people use this for everything. Let's start with the good stuff, the 6 compatibilities, or the 6合. These were the superstar pairings, the ones with the strongest cosmic pull. We're talking rat and ox, tiger and pig, rabbit and dog, dragon and rooster, snake and monkey, and the horse and goat. These pairs were thought to be just cosmically aligned, the perfect fit written in the stars that would bring good fortune. But you know how it goes. On the other side of that zodiac wheel, for every perfect match, there was a cosmic conflict. The system also laid out the rules for which signs were believed to just clash. And these are the 6 clashes, the Liu Chong. You've got the rat and horse, ox and goat, tiger and monkey, rabbit and rooster, dragon and dog, and finally the snake and pig. These pairs were seen as being totally incompatible. And this wasn't just, some lighthearted advice. In traditional matchmaking, this was a massive deal. Families would absolutely avoid pairing up their kids with a clashing sign because they truly believed it would lead to nothing but trouble. Okay, so we've traveled from ancient astronomy to a cosmic clock, all the way to a guide for human relationships. So how does all of this hold up today? Is it just an enduring superstition? Well, it's interesting because even the material we're looking at today offers a pretty modern take. It says, of course, this is baseless superstition, and in today's market, it has lost much of its appeal. So there's a clear acknowledgement that a lot of people just don't buy into it anymore. But here's the thing, whether you think it's the absolute truth or just fascinating folklore, you can't deny how incredible this whole system is. It's a window into how an entire culture tried to find order in the cosmos, and maybe more importantly, how they tried to find meaning in their relationships with each other. It's not just a story, it's a living piece of history. And that really leaves us with one last question to chew on, doesn't it? It makes you think, how do the ancient beliefs of our ancestors, even the ones we might dismiss as superstitions, continue to shape our world today? In what quiet, unseen ways are those old stories still a part of who we are?